After more than 3 years of a devastating war, the United States has called on Saudi Arabia to stop its strikes on populated areas of Yemen.
The time is now for the cessation of hostilities, including missile and UAV strikes from Houthi-controlled areas. Subsequently, coalition airstrikes must cease in all populated areas of Yemen.
However, Washington is hanging on to its multi-billion-dollar weapons contracts with the Saudis. And Britain's arms sales have doubled over the last 2 years as well, worth bearing in mind. Now there, the government's facing a grilling from Parliament today over its dealings with Riyadh. More about that, Anastasia Churkin is here from Westminster.
The US and Britain are under great scrutiny for their support of the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen, specifically in light of the recent Khashoggi scandal. We do know that the latest comments, carefully worded ones coming from Washington, have indicated they're calling for a ceasefire and an end to airstrikes by the Saudi-led coalition within 30 days, as well as a return to the negotiation table, including at the United Nations when it comes to Yemen. Here in the UK, also, patience seems to be dwindling when it comes to this topic, with UK ministers being grilled inside Parliament. Just yesterday, we saw the Middle East Minister Alistair Burt appear for questioning, where lots of questions were raised about the controversial Britain's continuing to supply weapons to Saudi Arabia, something that this particular minister continued to insist does not affect the situation on the ground.
Do you have a problem with condemning murder and international violations of international law?
In conflict, mistakes are made.
The only thing that we don't do is actually press the button to drop the bomb.
Arms supplies are there for those who need to defend themselves.
The amount of raids targeting civilians has gone up, not down. If these are all errors, there seem to be an awful lot of them.
I do not agree that if the United Kingdom was simply to deny its support for a party which is under threat itself, engaged in support of a legitimate government. I mean, if we're to...
You can't keep saying legitimate government. It's a joke.
UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt is also going to be facing a cross-examination at the House of Commons later today, following reports in the British media that the British intelligence may have had prior knowledge about the Khashoggi scandal before it unraveled. We're continuing to see the position of the British government be that they see no link between the Khashoggi case and the situation in Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Certainly, a shift seems to be very much needed, given the recent numbers having revealed that the number of deaths of people who died in Yemen is actually 5 times higher than thought by the United Nations.
All that said, however, journalist and Middle East commentator Adel Darwish told me he thinks it's unlikely the UK will halt its arms sales to Riyadh anytime soon.
When asked before, the answer came as still the arms sales from Britain still within the rules. I don't see a member of parliament going to stand there and say, okay, stop the arms sale and put 6,000 people in my constituency out of work. So you have to actually get that balance here. And the Foreign Office, as we probably know, line which feeds Downing Street always is better to be engaged with the country so you can exert pressure behind closed doors and twist arms behind closed doors rather than megaphone diplomacy, which is practiced by the Americans. That's not actually the British way of doing things.